everyone, welcome to part one of my September book haul. I've been waiting so long to share these books and to read them. So yeah, let me get started, and just remember all the books that I show will basically be my TBR for September. So if you're wondering what that is what it is. Moving on, let's start off with some library books. I only checked up 2 library books, and those books are, first we have The Forest of Hands and Teeth by Carrie Ryan, and I picked up this book because it looked really interesting, and I think it might be about zombies, but it looks more like a dystopian society that kind of lives in the woods, and there's rules and danger, and it just looked cool and excellent. I've seen this book a couple times on different people's channels, but I haven't heard that much about it. Next is Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi, and I've heard tons about this book. If you haven't heard about it, which rock have you been hiding under? Yes, so this is about a girl whose touch kills people, I think, freezes them maybe, and they break apart, or something like that. And anyways, she's captured and all this stuff, and there's been a lot of mixed reviews about it, so I'm kind of excited to find out whether I enjoy it or not. Alright, the next 3 books I got for free, woohoo, through a summer reading program my local library was having for adults. So it was really awesome that they were doing that, because usually they only do a teen one. And yeah, so every 6 books you read, you got 1 free used library book. So the first one is Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan, and I was really excited to get my own personal copy of this. This is the advanced reader's copy, and yeah, I've already read this book, so I won't obviously be reading it for September, but I wanted to have one for my very own bookshelf. After that is Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, I think. Anyways, this book is supposed to be about 3 different people, especially one main character is a girl, and they're looking back at a time where they were at a boarding school and kind of the mysterious events that occurred that made them special and kind of how it affects their current life. I got it for free. It looked cool and kind of interesting. It's rather short, although it's an adult book, but it's gotten a lot of awards, so I'm kind of interested to check it out and see what it's about. And finally, out of those 3 books is The Devil in the White City by Erik Larson, and this book I've been wanting for a while, but it just hasn't pushed me enough to pick it up, because usually I pick up more like science fiction and fantasy, adult or teen books, and this is more of an adult fiction book, but more in the literature realm. Anyways, it's about the 1893 World Fair, and it's about the architect and also a serial killer, and kind of them converging, I think, and it's supposed to be really good, and there's been a lot of really good reviews on it. I haven't seen any reviews on BookTube, I think, but this is an older book, so yeah, so it's probably not as likely that people have read it currently. Next, I picked up 2 used books at my local used bookstore, the first of which is Lois Lowry's Messenger, and I really want to get the whole series of Lois Lowry kind of books in the Giver series. The Giver is my favorite book, and weirdly enough, I think I read the 2nd book in the series, which is Gathering Blue, but I haven't read the whole series, and I hadn't read Gathering Blue in forever, so I really want to collect them. I'm not going to read this book until I get Gathering Blue, and I really want to find a used copy of it, so I might wait a little bit on reading this one. After that is a children's book, which is a series of unfortunate events, A Bad Beginning by Lemony Snicket, and this is the first in a series of unfortunate events series, and everyone has been raving about this book and how they read it as a child. I think this book series kind of came after my childhood. Harry Potter was my childhood, and this was just a little bit after, and so I kind of missed out on it. I saw the movie that came out about it, but I've never actually read any of these books. Alright, the next 5 books, which is the last books for this part 1 of the book haul, are books that I got as a gift from my mother. She went on a trip. She decided that she was going to go to Barnes & Noble and get me a gift, and thank you so much, because of course I love books and I only have so much money for it, so the more books the better. So starting off, we have Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. And this has been one I've seen a lot about on. I forget the name of the booktuber, but I'll put them below, and they are a huge fan of this book. I don't know why I'm blanking on the name. And so I really, really want to read it, and I'm so excited to check it out. It's about a woman who I believe is a detective maybe, and she's trying to solve a series of gruesome murders about girls, I believe. And so she has to go back to her hometown and a very dysfunctional life with a very dysfunctional family and solve the case somehow in that area. And I just love dark crime stories, so I am so excited to check this out. After that is Looking for Alaska by John Green. Again, if you've not heard about this book, where have you been? Yes, I read The Fault in Our Stars, and I didn't do a review on it because it just wasn't my sort of book, but obviously it is a really good book. But I wanted to pick up something that might be a little bit different by him and something that maybe is slightly less emotional, hopefully. Anyways, this book is about a boy who meets a girl, and he's kind of very geeky, not much of a social life, I guess. And anyways, she's kind of the opposite. She's very adventurous, and her name is Alaska Young, and it's kind of what happens. And I am so excited to read this because everyone has been raving about it. After that is Mad Men's Daughter by Megan Shepherd. And this is a retelling of the story of Dr. Moreau, and this is about his daughter, and he's basically, she thinks he's dead, and she hasn't seen him for a while, but then she hears of strange experiments going on in an island, so she has to go there and figure it out. And this is a series, although I think only the first one's out. And I really wanted to read this. It sounds really interesting, and I cannot wait. After that is The Testing by Joelle Charbonneau, I think, maybe. Anyways, this book is about a girl, and it's in a dystopian society, and she has to take a special test. You take the test if you want to be able to go to college and basically get a good career rather than being like a nobody. And what happens, and I think there's a guy in it, there might be some romance, but it looked really good, and I've seen that a couple of booktubers have read this and enjoyed it, I think. So anyways, I am going to read this very soon. And finally, I have Dance of Shadows by Yelena Black, and this book is beautiful. I picked it honestly because, because of the topic, but also because of this cover. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. Even if the book is horrible, I will just display it and enjoy it. And this book is supposed to be about a girl whose sister is in a ballet academy, and her sister is murdered or disappears, and she wants to figure out what's going on. So she then goes into the academy, and kind of the same thing might be happening to her. She's not sure. And I love the idea of a story about murder and mystery, but also ballet. I really enjoy the topic of ballet. I am excited for this book. It did get mixed reviews online, but you know, I am looking forward to it, and I can't wait to read it. So these are part one of all the books I will be reading. Oh my gosh, that's going to be a lot of books to read, and I still have another 8 or 9 books in part 2 that I will be putting out in a day or two. I hope you enjoyed this book haul. I certainly did, and I am just over the moon about reading all these books and reviewing them and sharing them with you. If there is one in particular you think I should read sooner than later, please let me know. Thanks guys, bye!